All right. So, it's about a few days after leaving the spaceport of Hecatha that you start to reach the outer edges of the solar system that is known as realm space. And as you get closer to that edge, the the black kind of void of space and the speckled stars um, seem to grow larger as it starts as Ari, you see that it appears to be almost kind of like a semi-transparent wall, and the stars themselves are like these almost like giant uh, yeah, it's like a semi-transparent dome. It almost looks like fog at first with like little lights sprinkled in, and as as the ship gets closer to this fog wall of sorts, um, the stars themselves almost look like kind of gemstones twinkling in the vastness of space. And that's when calls on the ship go out to snuff out any and all fires. As past this point, as it's been explained to you, Ari, um, when a spelljammer travels outside of a solar system, there is this kind of gaseous ocean um, referred to as phlogiston, and it is highly flammable, where even like the smallest spark can cause an explosion that will destroy a ship. And as the crew goes around snuffing out lanterns, you finally reach the wall and breach past it. It's it almost feels as if it gives a little bit of resistance before the ship finally slides out. And what you see is basically an ocean of shifting colors of just all across the color spectrum: reds, greens, yellows, oranges, blues, violets, and even silvery um, ribbons and other colors that are just indescribable as it's kind of spread out to the horizon, both above and below you. And it is just the vastness of just the astral stuff that lies between the planes and these kind of orb-like solar systems. And needless to say, the crew reacts as if it's just another Tuesday.
Well, except Squish.
Except Squish.
Squish rushes to the head and all the way to the prow and just like takes in the phlogiston tides as it washes across. The color of Squish is in fact identical to the color of this ocean. They match.
I'm guessing Arya's on the deck with Squish.
Yes.
What do
Wish
you?
just takes a big old whiff of that air of the sea, breathing the astral ocean into itself. Just wants to see if there's any traces of any lurkers about.
Okay.
Since the solar system is more frequented than some, there may be things that lurk outside there in search of that traffic.
Yeah.
Hakatha having 6 different ports.
Oh yeah. Each of a different color. All right. So, what you do smell, Squish, as kind of a fishy smell.
Hmm. Hmm. I think I might smell something.
Would you like to peer over the side of the ship?
Squish just slides over the side of the ship, sticking to it, and looks for a better
All
vantage to
right.
detect what it is presently catching a trace of.
What you sense is a school of space guppies.
Whoa.
Little tiny fish. And on some of those fish are these little kind of astral sprites. Little uh, little black, almost twig-like bodies,
And they're riding the fish?
and they are riding the fish. Little twig-like bodies with
Stop, I found a really cute picture.
heads kind of shaped kind of like an ethereal blue fire. And you
Oh my
see
gosh, that's right.
That's adorable.
and it's just a little school of about I'm gonna say about 15 or so, 15 guppies, and then these little twinga um, on top of them.
So when you say the guppies are small, how small are we talking?
Uh,
Like
like the
category
size
wise.
of a small bird.
Oh, okay.
Think like small songbird size.
I had a song sparrow singing to me in the garden just this morning. Squish can go ahead and give him a wave. Hello.
You see some of them kind of wave back as it seems like they're kind of hitchhiking on board of the ship's gravitational plane and kind of coasting along for the ride as the ship returns to spelljamming speed. And after that small encounter, it's probably going to be about another week, another 10 days or so of just tending to, on shipboard duties, doing chores, and kind of day-to-day events. Nothing really big or eventful until kind of along one of the small streams of phlogiston. You come something starts to hit the ship, kind of little thumps against the front side as the crew starts to kind of wake up or stir into action. Hear footsteps on the upper deck as someone shouts, "Debris!" And as you step up onto the deck of the ship, you see the remnants of another spelljammer. As the ship kind of slows to a stop out of spelljamming speed and starts to kind of float through this wreckage. You see the remnants of kind of a giant scorpion's tail made out of a hardy metal. Looks like it's been snapped or crushed and torn off. And give me just 1 second.
Yo, we need to salvage that tail, then our ship can sting people.
And as you're floating through this debris field, there you see kind of movement in a larger chunk of the wreckage where it looks like the body of this scorpion ship was like ripped open and the piece, almost as if it was like ripped into, and you see like the legs floating around. There's broken barrels. And then somebody give me a perception check.
The Willikers. No, I'm not doing so well on mine, though.
I have to refresh my page.
Yeah, I'm having trouble bringing up my... Oh, there we go. Spoke too soon. It keeps... Well, no, it says... It keeps saying that the session has expired no matter how many times I refresh. Give me just a second.
Oh, okay. I refreshed and it logged me out of Roll20 completely. Oh
yeah, it logged me out too.
Okay.
And for me, it's working perfectly.
All
That's
right.
how this shit goes.
I was able to hop back into it.
Shit. I didn't save my password. Hold on.
Hey, Pidge, roll a d4, will ya? Squish will help you.
I already rolled a 19, though.
It could be a 24. I mean, a 23.
I'm happy with my 19.
That's fine.
Maybe-
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, finally let me log in.
Okay, that's good.
That was weird.
Roll 20, stop being stupid, challenge level
Yeah, it's
impossible.
just... pretty much. There we go. Now I have my sheet open, even though I probably don't need to do a perception roll now. I'll do it anyway.
I was going to say, you still can if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do it anyway.
All right.
What do my shitty little baby eyes see?
All right. Hey, Ellie. Do you want
Yeah.
to give me a stealth roll?
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Where's my stealth at? There it is.
All right. So, what Ari and Skrag see, you see this ship ran into some serious trouble. It looks like as if something took a big bite out of it and then just kept ripping and tearing until like the air bubble of the ship popped. And you see, you don't see any bodies, but there's like a fine red mist, little bubbles of it kind of scattered around the wreck. Minuscule droplets that kind of drift over to the Astral Reaver and kind of not drop onto people, but it kind of hits them as your air bubble is kind of going through this wreckage and the blood kind of hits that gravitational pull. It's like a very fine sprinkling of red hitting the deck of the ship and some people. And what else you see is you see large fish. Actually, no. Fish wouldn't be the right word. You see basically space sharks swimming around the wreckage. And
Oh shit!
kind of in the belly section of the ship and where you presume the cargo hold would be, you catch a glimpse of something humanoid moving in the ship, trying to take cover from it.
Skrag, do you see that? She's pointing.
He heads over to see where she's pointing and squints. Does he?
Yes, you do.
Looks like someone.
Skrag also totally gets flashbacks because that's the thing that bit off his armor leg. Which was it?
Both actually.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What type was it exactly?
Actually, it wasn't sharks. It was fuck. What's 10 on the wild spacer thing?
Scavers. Yeah.
Scabbers.
So
Well, I thought those were the sharks.
yeah, those are the sharks.
Oh, they are the sharks.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were like way freaking huge.
Yeah, so what you see is gray scavers kind of swimming around this ship, kind of circling it. And then as the ship kind of starts to circle around this wreckage, word spreading really quickly through the crew, that's when you see the big one. Black, dark as night. It is a huge monstrosity with a single glowing eye on the forehead and teeth that are sharp and needle-like.
Oh, that's some bitch. Tell the captain somebody needs help. I see a person there. I think it is.
Okay. And she's gonna scoot off.
All right.
Squish. I think it's time to see about dinner.
Oh, are we going to eat it where you don't cook it, but you do all the fancy things with it without?
That can be arranged.
I want that black sauce on it. What do you want me to do, Skrag?
So how far are they from like this individual that is pretty much pinned down by the sharks?
I want to say probably about a good, I want to say like, I'm going to say about maybe like 150 feet. The ship does need maybe like another few seconds to kind of get closer. But I'd say like if you launch yourself off the ship, then momentum would eventually lead you to hitting the large body of the ship, of the Scorpion ship.
As much as Skrag would like to get out there, doing things on his own without the captain It's not something he'd want to do just yet. Go get the cat. He tells Squish.
I will go get Athoz. If Athoz is available.
Question, Riley.
Yeah.
The door to get to where the captain is, I'm assuming he's on the, like, he's at the navigational area.
Yeah.
Is that a heavy door?
No, it's actually a well, I guess for a GIF, it would not be a heavy door.
So for someone weighing approximately 2 footballs,
Oh, boy.
it is impossible.
Well, considering that they're coming up upon something like this, I wouldn't be surprised if the captain's already out of his room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, I'm asking, where is the fucking captain? Where the fuck is this guy?
He shouldn't be hard to find for you. He's basically got a gravitational pull. You probably just have to orbit him when he's on deck.
Yeah, I'd say like once the shouts start to go out, you can find him in like kind of on the main deck in the forecastle as he's stepping out. You see, he's kind of taking note of the debris, the tinge of red kind of splattered on the across the ship.
Is he looking down?
Actually, odds or evens?
I rolled a 1d2.
Okay.
Just, 50-50 shot of 1 for stupidity, 2 for no stupidity. I rolled a 1.
All right.
So I'm just asking, is he looking down?
Okay. He is in fact looking down, and I think
Okay, good.
you've noticed since the first few days you've joined the crew, he's been looking down noticeably a lot more.
All right. Whew. My little lady's not gonna get stepped on or kicked.
That is
Alright.
legit how she's gonna die. She's gonna get accidentally kicked in one of our ballistae and launched into the void.
Jeez.
What a way to go.
As the door to the main deck from the forecast from the front side of the ship swings open as you see Boswell step out and he says, "All right. All right, don't just stand there gawking. Go and get Ranger rescue crew. Gonna check for survivors. And if there's none, then we'll deal with the scavers and scavenge what we can." All right. As the crew mobilizes, you see some people have already kind of jumped onto the ballista to try and kind of shoot some as they kind of wait on the order to fire, because there's that big night scaver, the massive, huge terror of the astral sea.
How big is it in terms of creature size categories?
Huge.
Okay.
It's a big boy.
Okay. So yeah, Squish just squishes right under Athos's door in his study. Part of the lab space. We have lab space, right? Don't we?
Yeah.
I suppose it would be called the shipboard apothecary, but never you mind all that. Athoz! Athoz! There are big sharks and a wrecked ship, and there is a lot of blood. Did Squish get any blood on it?
Yeah, you got a little bit of blood on you, actually.
Alright, I would like to taste that blood, see if I recognize it. 16?
Yeah, so, So it's not a species that is on board this ship, but you have seen them before. They kind of they are a warrior species that go by the name of the Dukagshi. They're from
Dukagshi?
a far quadrant of space, very far from here.
Is it the Delta Quadrant?
Maybe.
Never mind, Star Trek jokes. Anyway, and I think they were Dukagshi because I tasted the blood, and that's what it tasted like.
Would Squish have the mental faculties to do a history check?
Tell you what, because this is going to be hilarious, let's do it.
Okay.
That would be a 7.
Not quite. No.
You think? You think so?
Ace just kind of look down at Squish and says, "But they should be far from here, as far as I remember. Even though I don't know much about them. But take me to the wreckage. Let's see what we can find out. And if they're dead, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there."
Okay, let's see. Oh, look at that. That was the roll to determine whether or not Squish literally takes you to that wreckage. But a 15 will definitely do it. Squish is not going to bodily pick you up and then hurl itself and Athoz across the void into the wreckage.
All right.
We are within jumping distance.
All right. So by the time Athoz kind of leaves his cabin, the ship is, I'm gonna say, like less than 100 feet away from the wreckage. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a good 60-foot jump, probably.
All right, hold on. That was a pretty good intelligence roll. Let me just try one more. Never mind. Yeah.
The wreck is just outside, a little bit ways outside of the air envelope of the Astral Reaver. So if you miss this shot, you're going to be floating in one direction for a while.
Squish is going to take some rope.
Mm-hmm.
And with a great length of... what kind of line would that be? You know what? I'm not going to be that granular. Squish going to take that rope attached to one part of the ship, and Squish is just going to hurl itself off with the other. Just create a little line for people to come across with.
Okay.
And if it misses... So is that an acrobatics?
I'll let you choose acrobatics or athletics.
I'm going to go ahead and do athletics.
All right. Athletics. So you land... so basically, this ship, if it wasn't torn apart, would resemble a scorpion. It still kind of has that shape, except one pincer arm is completely destroyed, legs are torn off, and basically the entire top deck where the ballista would be mounted is gone. And, give me just a second. I need to grab everybody's tokens really fast. And then we're going to change perspectives for a moment. So, Durakka,
Yeah.
Ellie,
Yeah.
it wasn't the scavers that brought your ship down. It was another ship Um, your people have had a generations long blood feud or rivalry with the elves, and your what basically happened was that your captain misjudged um, the strength of this particular elven ship. It moved faster than your ship was capable of. Maybe it was a little bit of, maybe a mix of greed, maybe just a little bit of bloodthirst to just, just take down a ship. Maybe a little thirst for glory. But after the ship was destroyed, they just left without even scavenging it or checking for survivors. The Spelljammer destroyed in the battle, and basically you managed to slip on a what's called a fish suit that lets you kind of breathe out in space. And for the last what feels like ages, you've been fending off various opportunistic predators and scavengers that come by the ship. But now you are in trouble because you've been trying to fend off these gray scavengers for a while, and you know that there is a bigger one out there, and if it decides that it's hungry enough, it could try and gnaw its way through what's left of the hull to try to get to you. The good news is that the holes that are there are too big for it to get into. Not too big for the gray scavengers, though, so you've been kind of swatting them off with your massive sheathed greatsword. And annoyingly enough, it still has not unlocked itself. It seems just still stuck.
Clearly, these foes aren't worthy for my blade.
All right, I'm gonna move the page over as I frantically draw over the parts of the ship that are destroyed.
Yes, lost to the ship in a devastating scribble attack.
Those damned scribbles.
All right. Oh, those tokens are super big again. All right.
Why are we big?
I don't know.
You just don't ask a person that. That's rude.
Why are we big?
Squish is actually going to be that size once it's eaten enough scavengers.
Play fishy fishy.
Ari's never been this big.
Stop moving the token around so I can shrink it. Okay.
Return to small size.
Return too small.
Return to small. There we go.
Return to monkey.
Monkey.
Yeah, Ari's just gonna crawl up in her little spot in her bus. And that's where she is.
All right.
You know, with all these various honks we've got, I feel like we should have like a truck horn. You know, no,
So-
a foghorn.
So I'm curious. So the ship is about where they are currently, right?
Oh, I was just gonna. I was
Just to have an idea.
Yeah, I'd
maybe.
say kind of
Yeah.
around there generally.
Okay, and they have we're armed with harpoon ballistas. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Astral Reaver does have one ballista on board.
Okay. Um, he's gonna tell the person at that ballista to wait for this big fucker to come around, and once
Okay.
close enough, harpoon it.
All right, sounds good.
So, I mean, Captain probably would order something like that, but he has a vendetta, so he's just giving the order himself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. And then Squish, you are able to you land on board, um, and like even inside, the ship looks like it was one hell of a fight. You see damage from ballistas on the inside. This door right here is like kind of just barely hanging on, as looks like it's been rammed or hit by something really hard, where it's like just barely hanging on its hinges. But in this kind of zero gravity type environment, it's almost kind of like floating as it, and you can see like the hinges are like just barely staying on.
Right. As soon as Squish lands, it looks for the most stable part of this ship to tie a boarding line to.
Okay. Yeah, and you're able to find like a pretty sturdy, we'll say like right here, there's this kind of like wood and metal nub where it looks like is a kind of attached to a mechanism to, well, to control what was once a giant pincer. But it's sturdy enough that you could secure a line onto it.
Yep.
And you do so.
And then Squish will give a little shout across the void. Oh, actually, I guess if the envelopes aren't touching, they wouldn't be able to hear it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Squish rises its biomass up and forms a great big, like, waving pair of semaphore flags. Just come on over. Squish doesn't know semaphore, so it might be a little confusing, but I think the general message is clear enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as soon as it's given the signal, it's gonna go to that broken door.
Okay.
Take a little peek under it.
Oh, Ellie, in VC mutes, this is what a fish suit looks like. It's like a scuba suit.
Oh, gotcha.
You were saying, Jack?
I'm trying to remember how far the telepathy was.
120?
120.
Yeah, it was 120, but your dark vision wasn't as far, so that's why you were having a lesser number in the caves. But I think it's 120.
Right. He would just in Squish's head. I can't say brain because it's hard to say. Anyway, just urge him to take caution. So
Okay.
hear him in his
Yeah. All right. Let's.
But he'll start heading over if he can.
Okay.
Squish will just secure the area, make sure there's nothing lurking. Good lord, perception rolls. Come on.
Yeah, that 15 is enough. You do see those sharks kind of swimming and circling around. They start looking a bit more kind of agitated as the Astral Reaver gets closer. But it almost seems like they're waiting for something else.
Squish suddenly realizes how vulnerable it would be to come across with that rope. So, Squish is going to come over to here
Mm-hmm.
and pound on the deck some to try to keep the scaver's attention away from people coming over on the line.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
I actually
we can
wonder
do
if
that.
Scrag can jump over.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I wonder if Scrag could actually jump over.
Oh yeah, right. Thri-kreen jump.
Yep. Trying to remember about that though. So I could have sworn they had jump.
No, they totally have a jump thing. Like advantage on athletics checks pertaining to jump. Does that sound right, Riley?
I am not familiar with Thri-kreen enough. I'm gonna.
Long jump is up to 30 feet and high jump is up to 15 feet with or without a running start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
within this microgravitic environment, you could make it.
Yeah, so he would jump over,
Okay.
taking Ari with him.
All right.
Speaking of, I have finished the soundboard. I need to test it.
God.
Boom. Perfect.
Here you go, right when he jumps.
Is it too quiet? Do I need to make it a little bit
No,
louder?
no, it's perfect. It's less obtrusive that way.
No,
Yeah,
it's
the first like the initial audio was like the ear rape version.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
So I was like,
Pass.
oh man. I lowered the volume like 80%.
that was perfect.
Perfect. Legit perfect.
Thank you.
Hear that going off when he jumps.
Bragg is like, why did I just make that noise? I don't know.
Did you like it? I got it for you at the last port.
We gotta make that canon.
Yep.
All right. So, what
And
happens?
Athoz comes over.
So, what happens as the two of you leave the ship's air bubble? You actually get your own little. Skrag and Ari get their own little conjoined air bubbles as they leave the ship's air bubble. And you get a few minutes of air, basically.
How far is this? How far is this from the ship to the wreckage?
I'm gonna say like about 60, 70, 80 feet. But we're kind of fast forwarding getting onto the ship, more or less. So Athoz could jump aboard, or he could take the rope that Squish tied.
I don't remember jumping rules actually.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I jump across and shift in part way to make it through the other side.
Okay. All right.
From Squish's vantage, can it see the big bastard?
I'd say you can. You can peek through. You can peek through one of the broken holes in the ship to kind of get a glimpse of the big one.
Yeah, Squish draws everyone's attention to that one. We're going to eat that.
All right, and then we are going to roll for initiative. As Durakka, you hear something thumping against the ship. Sounds like multiple somethings.
Huh.
And it sounds like it's on the other side of this door here.
Mysterious space thumping.
Wonder if there was ever a band called The Thumps.
Wouldn't surprise me.
All right. Then I'm gonna do. Oh, there it is. Okay. Gonna roll for this guy too. All right. Okay, and then send one more time. All right. So as Athoz, as you're floating your way over to the ship, you see that the scavers are agitated. Looks like they're gonna start heading towards where Squish is kind of pounding on the side of the ship, and then they're gonna start trying to potentially get in.
So are we still in the phlogiston, or are we in
So you're on the ship right now.
Okay.
The phlogiston is all around you all the time, basically.
Okay. So we did enter the area within the phlogiston.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta keep that in mind. Otherwise, a fiery demise will happen if I don't.
Now, actually, that's a question I haven't been clear on for decades.
Hmm?
If you do a fireball attack, it's like hitting and impacting at a specific place. Does it ignite as soon as it leaves your hand, or does it ignite when it reaches the target?
So it ignites as soon as the fire materializes. So basically, like, if Athoz casted fireball, it would basically look like he exploded in a fire explosion, like on his where he's standing.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Very rough stuff. Okay. Crap.
But if anyone has create bonfire,
Oh,
Ahem.
with oil. So they're all outside, so we can't. We can just see them from above. From where they are currently. Then are
Actually,
they visible to us, or they're
actually, with Squish pounding on the ship, let me actually move these tokens around a little bit. So I'm gonna say the kind of more, probably more like, kind of more like this now. Kind of moving over to where Squish is pounding on the ship. I'm gonna say the big one here is over here. So they are, you do see them. They are in view.
E is going to cast on the closest one that he can see.
Okay.
ooh,
So it's gonna be this one right here.
Yes.
All right. Guess what?
What's up?
It is immediately dead.
Oh,
holy shit!
they does it drop to the floor that we are at, or does it float in space?
It just floats in space.
Huh. Athan's gonna look at Skrag. Is there any way we can get that after this, or is it lost for
I'll
good?
get it.
Oh no.
We'll figure it out.
They don't seem
Alright.
to be much trouble.
Next up is Skrag.
Okay. So, if I was hearing correctly, you said that where they are now are in the area where if it catches on fire, it's going to just blow.
Yeah.
Right.
So, basically, when you guys are outside of like a solar system, like you are now, that's basically where things blow up if there's even like a spark.
Okay. And he would know this. I don't know because
Mhm.
I'm still learning Spelljammer.
I got you.
If it did blow, would they still be safe where they are?
I'd say it would.
Relatively safe.
I'd say that would depend on the size of the fire. It would be like normally, like so like I'd say like anything bigger than a match would end up being like a firebolt. A firebolt would probably turn into a fireball, but it would be centered on the caster itself. Say if like you were throwing a fireball or firebolt, it would be you that explodes.
Okay. 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 Then
But
I am going to use
but if you were, say, conjuring like create
a bonfire,
then
Yes.
that would be that. Then you would not blow up because
Okay.
it would appear in a different spot.
Okay. So that's what I was wondering, and then Max said something about create bonfire, and I was like, okay, well maybe my idea isn't so stupid after all. So let's cast create bonfire on this fella right here,
Okay.
Yeah.
like right in the middle of everything.
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to work because I don't think that actually does well. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to
We're
work
all
for you.
gonna die. We're all gonna die.
All right.
Well, no, he would be calculated about this because he would know. Being a wild spacer, he would know, just how safe they would be. So if you, as a DM, knows that this is not safe, he would know it's not safe because I'm pretty sure he would calculate these things.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. So he would want to put it in a spot where, it would cause the most damage to those guys rather than them.
Okay. Give me just a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of winging this a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry to make it difficult.
No,
That
no,
was
no,
just
no,
the first
no.
thing that came to mind when you said a spark can cause an explosion. I was like, huh.
Yeah, I'll have to kind of reread parts of like the old Spelljammer books to kind of try and like homebrew something
I think
up.
you're better off winging it up.
Yeah.
Could probably treat it like a fireball.
Just like you said, yeah.
That's what I was going to do, actually.
Okay.
Everything just gets stepped up to the next fire spell effect. I think that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking because you are 5th level, and the damage increases to 2d8 for the create bonfire, I was just going to have it be like a level 5 fireball.
Oh, well. Okay.
Yeah. So 4 of them have to make dex saves.
Oh, and he would definitely call it a warning. Watch your eyebrows. Especially for Athoz. Athoz, rather.
Okay, so 2 of them. So that's... you know what, Jack, roll a 10d6 for me.
Holy smokes. 10d6?
Yes.
Oh, wait, that's 1d6. Hold on. How do you adjust? Oh, wait. How do I adjust this? Oh, I got it. Okay. 10d6.
All
Not
right.
bad, not bad. A lot of ones, but not
So
bad.
37. All right, so let's see. All right, one of them is definitely dead, and the other 2 are, let's see. What's half of 37? That's like 18, right?
Yeah, 18.
Okay.
When do you expect us to actually know math?
We're gay. We can't do math.
I actually quite like math. Does that mean I'm straight? Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right, so what happens is one of them just is blown apart and vaporizes in the intense heat. The body of the one you killed is also gone. The
No.
force of the explosion is felt as the Scorpion ship is pushed back, and the rope that Squish tied goes taut as it even like tugs on the Astral Reaver as well. And Durakka, you feel that the force of that explosion, as you're kind of just floating around waiting to see what happens, and then the wall of the ship suddenly slams into you.
Whew.
Okay, and create bonfire is a cantrip,
It is a cantrip, yes.
which is
Yeah,
a
we might need to
bonus
rethink this.
action? No, I'm not gonna mess it up too much. I promise. Oh no, it's an action. It's an action. Okay, so since that's an action, I can't do anything else.
Can't you put down your?
No, that's an action.
Oh.
Well, the new rules of Artificer, whatever, is a bonus action, I believe, but I want to recheck that and even see if we want to change over to that. But yeah, since it's an action, I can't do anything else besides that. That's it.
Okay. All right. This scaver right here is gonna fuck right off. It's gonna swim away.
No,
Yeah.
that's
You'll
fine.
make a
We got the
small
big
fry.
one.
Yeah. We go make some fucking steaks.
All right. Ari, what would you like to do?
How many of them are left?
There are 3 of them left.
So, Skrag made everything explode,
Yes.
and she's gonna peek out, see that there's a couple, and she doesn't know the ins and outs of starting a fire out here quite yet. Like, she gets the basics of it, but Skrag seems to know what he's doing. So, she's just going to... Where's my... There it is. Gonna take out her crossbow and fire at this one.
All right. All right, with a 15, it's a bullseye hit as it kind of flails for a moment, and then it is dead.
Then
Drifting.
she's just gonna sink right back into her bus.
All right. All right, then next up is Squish.
All right. Let's see. Now the claw there is missing, right? Not just
Yes.
damaged, but gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Like pieces of it are floating around.
Okay. Squish's mass contorts for a moment, and it then seems to eject a portion of mass off of itself towards that nearest scabber.
Mhm.
Needs to make a DC 16 dex save.
All
This
right.
guy's probably got dex for days, we'll see.
Not as
Ha!
much as you would think. All right. So 6 points of acid damage. Anything else you would like to do?
Actually, yes. Squish had heard some thumping around when the ship got hit, something on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So Squish is going to leave that to the ranged folks who can do more than spit at him like it can. And it is going to ooze under this door to see what the hell's on the other side.
All right. So what you see on the other side is basically the image that I put in VC Mutes, you
Yep.
see this kind of humanoid shaped creature, kind of a little light attached to the forehead, a mask with tubes that are attached to an oxygen tank, and like kind of clawed gauntlets and clawed boots. And it's carrying what looks like an oversized oar paddle.
Or paddle?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Like what you use to row a boat. But
Sorry. For some reason, I thought O-R-E. Yeah, just oar. It's just an oar. An oar has long handles, and a paddle is the shorter version.
yeah. So it's like
Okay.
it looks like an
Oh, shit.
it looks like an oversized oar, except the handle part is like much shorter.
Is this a Miyamoto Musashi reference?
I'm not sure. I don't know who that is.
Famous swordsman.
Yeah, famously won a duel without a sword. Instead, he just made a sword out of a ship oar.
Oh, it is not a reference to that.
Yeah. Okinawa now has a martial art centered around using a battle oar, as per Miyamoto Musashi's victory in Okinawa.
Yeah, I'm just describing Ellie's weapon based on the image she sent me.
Well, regardless, dope. Yeah. Durakka, you see this rainbow sherbet-looking amorphous beanbag chair materialize from under the door. And a little pseudopod emerges from it, and it waves at you cheerfully.
She just goes, "Why is it waving at me? What is that?" Not really realizing that what she is seeing is a sentient creature and trying to interact with her.
Allie, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not sure you're looking at a sentient creature right now.
Durakka waves back.
All right. Next turn is going to be the Night Scaver. As the explosion happens, its attention is going to be kind of drawn over in that direction. So,
Night Scaver.
40. And I'm going to say, like, probably the explosion caused, like, the ship to tilt a bit. And you see the Astral Reaver kind of turning to try and, like, adjust. And then you see a ballista bolt kind of soar through the air to try and hit that Night Scaver. That's a critical hit. All right.
Who is it? A named?
Real that
Is it a named crew at the helm? I mean, on the ballista.
Let me roll a dice really quick. Hold on.
reel that sucker in.
Oh my God! What if this is a Jaws movie now?
Oh,
And we're just dragged all over wild space by this giant night scaver.
Yes.
3 barrels in him. He can't go down with 3 barrels.
You know what? I'm gonna say because it'd be cool. It's gonna be Wolf that fires the shot. Wolf Cinder
He's
Spear.
redeeming himself.
Yeah.
Wolf, you've redeemed yourself. I was.
For Ellie, Wolf, was it Wolf that threw Ari
Yes,
overboard?
yes,
it
was.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was,
He participated in hazing the newbie by throwing her overboard.
yeah, in Spelljammer, there are these, basically their equivalent of barnacles are called jammer leeches. And they're these giant barnacles that
gross.
kind of cling to the
They're real
ship.
gross.
And they have like a tentacle that flails around. But yeah, so Wolf deals that critical hit on the Night Scaver as it sharks aggressively because it used all its movement. All right.
So, like Jack was saying, are they going to reel it in?
That's gonna be probably next round.
Okay, so it did have a line attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jack specified when he sent that message.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
All right. This other badly injured scaver is gonna start to swim away, and then so it's gonna swim off back into space. Doesn't want to die.
Pipe.
All right. Next up is Durakka.
Me. I guess. So I can. How do I can see through there, right?
Yeah. Like, imagine, like, the ship having just a bunch of holes in it. So, like, this Night Scaver has probably tried to bust through the hole a few times and slam into it, but just hasn't gotten through yet. So it's just basically trying to starve you out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I guess what I could do is I could move over here
Mm-hmm.
and then throw one of my hand axes at this guy.
Okay.
Let me see. Hand axe. Huh.
Nice. A direct hit. 6 points of slashing damage. As you just
Yeah.
kind of swim through the doorway and just expertly throw your hand axe.
As it hits and makes contact, there's just like a ha-ha from underneath like her mask.
All right.
I kind of imagine this moment of hesitation, what with Squish being in the door, but then Squish politely moves right out of her way. And oozes, they don't generally show the good manners.
All right. So this scaver that you threw an axe at, Ellie, is going to swim towards you and try to bite you.
Come at me.
Rolled a 24.
Oh no.
Wow.
So that's 8 points of piercing as it kind of takes a bite out of you. The teeth kind of puncture the fish suit, and you hear this kind of hissing sound inside of the suit as air starts to kind of leak out.
Well, that's not good. That's not what I want.
And as the air leaks out, sort of makes this like really kind of big bubble around you. So like basically however long your oxygen tank was going to last, it just makes this big I'm gonna say like 15 by 15 cube around you, centered on you. So where you move, the bubble goes with you.
Oh.
As you have probably like a few hours of air, but everyone else has a few minutes.
Except Squish, who gives
Except
no
for-
fucks about your solid respirations.
Yeah, except for Squish, who doesn't care about respiration.
People say that I am gross, but you are all the time bringing in and putting out gases from your body. If you don't think that is gross, then I am not gross either.
All right, and then Athoz is next.
Zorro style carve an A into it.
I thought I was looking at this one, but it's this one, right?
Yep, that one right there.
Okay. Sure, let's give it a little whack. Oh, that's like, what the hell is my stuff here? Ignore that thunder damage. I forgot to take
Okay.
it off.
That's okay.
So
That
that'd
is
be-
that is actually enough damage to pierce through it and kill it.
We got dinner.
All right. So that is basically one half of this encounter done. Do you guys want to fight the night scaver, or are you gonna let the ship take care of it?
Oh no, we're fighting that bitch.
Hell yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. Yeah, Athoz,
I
I
mean-
think it might be time to sting a little, sting a little sore, you know what I'm saying? Hey, is a huge creature big enough to have its own gravity plane?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think so.
Spelljammer gravity has always been super fucky, but in my opinion, in a fun way. But it's hard to keep track,
Yeah.
especially leaping 3 entire editions.
I'll end my turn for now.
Okay. All right. And so, Skrag, what would you like to do?
So it's still not within. Actually, this one I'll be able to do this for that one too if I wanted to. He would know that these things are pretty hard to take down. Yeah.
They're pretty big. Like they're
Yeah.
beefy.
But the
He's gonna help.
important thing is to take it without damaging the meat too much. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if it's a little cooked,
I guess as long as we have some
kinda
safety out of it.
I'm just trying to weigh on if he would actually do that again, because he would want to spare the majority of the meat. But at the same time, the ship is going to be shooting at it and all this other kind of stuff. So, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do the bonfire one more time.
All right.
This time, let's see. The ship is about here,
Yeah, I'd say
you would say?
yeah, kind of around, probably around, yeah, around here.
Around there. Let's put it there. Try to turn it around to get closer to the ship, so the ship could have an easier way to reel it in.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, so let's drop another bonfire right there.
All right. I'm gonna have it make another dex save really fast. All right, go
Ooh.
ahead, roll 10d6 for me. Rolled a 9, 35 points of damage as there's another explosion, and the force of the explosion kind of moves the ship again as the Scorpion ship is kind of pushed in one direction. Everyone kind of gets kind of everybody make acrobatic checks for me.
Except Ari, maybe.
Ari, are you hanging on to
She's
Skrag?
hanging on.
All right.
And everyone add a D4. If you add a D4, it means Squish is trying to stabilize you with a pseudopod.
Yeah, so his plan, he just wants to try to get it to kind of spook it
Okay.
to start going towards the ship. So yeah, it'd be easier to reel it in.
Okay.
As well as damaging it a little bit.
All right. Yeah, so what happens is the ship kind of jerks suddenly with the explosion, and I need a roll from Ari. Oh wait,
Like an
sorry.
acrobatic.
You're hanging on to Skrag.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So the ship
If anything, she's getting like tossed around inside there.
just bouncing around like a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
Roll a D10. If you roll a 10 on a D10, it means Skrag's super spicy spice mix opened up inside there,
Jeez.
the travel one.
5.
Okay, you're safe. It's just some black pepper.
All right. Okay. So basically what happens is
VC mutes everybody. This is Ari.
everyone gets kind of knocked around a bit as the ship is kind of moved with the force of the explosion. Poor Durakka probably like hits her head on something. A little bit dazed. And then Ari, what would you like to do?
And the shark is still up and about, right?
Yes, it is still up and about.
Well, she's now ass over tea kettle in her little compartment that she's made a home. So she's gonna scramble up and peek out. Look at Skrag, because, you know, when she's like inside, she can't really tell what the hell is going on. It's just movement, and then everything's exploding. It's really loud and bad. She's peeking out, looks at Skrag as if he's the one that did this, not knowing what the fuck happened. Like, how dare you do this?
I mean, he did do it.
Yeah, and then she's gonna fire off crossbow
Okay.
over at that thing. Give him the old stinky face.
All right. So that does hit. It's 9 points of piercing.
Ari probably seeing Skrag the most intent she's ever seen him.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of hard to tell in a beetle's face, but he doesn't look happy. I guess you can say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then is there anything else you'd like to do, Ari?
Nope.
Okay.
She's popping right back in.
All right. And then
Is there seatbelts in there?
probably not.
Okay.
All right. Squish is up next.
Okay, so Squish, delighted at the meal this thing promises, the meals plural, leaps over the rear deck there in great fluid bounds, comes right up to there, and just bursts with that astral energy. It takes that much force damage.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Squish just goes the fuck to town on this piece of shit. Wham!
Okay. That hits.
Wham!
That hits again.
Tenderizing. Good
All right.
God, Squish.
That is going to kill it.
Yeah, so what I'd kind of like to do is, instead of it being mechanically those several bludgeoning strikes with my unarmed attacks, I want Squish to have deliberately leapt into its mouth as it tries to eat it, and then just legitimately kills it from the inside by blocking off its air exchange valve.
Actually, it does not need to breathe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, killing it from the inside, because as Pidge pointed out, space adventures means war.
Okay. Yeah, so it's now dead, and as you kill it, they're finally able to start reeling the night scaver back in.
Skrag will head closer to like here, closer to where the ship is, and for the first people that he sees up there, just telepathically let them know to reel it in, preserve the meat. If all the meat's spoiled, he's going to tend their highs or some shit like that, you know. Sound really aggressive about it because he wants to eat this fucker.
Holy shit, I just realized something, though.
What?
Like, there'd be so much less risk of spoilage. I mean, you're in space.
Pretty
Although I
much.
guess in the Astral Sea, maybe it'd be like the regular sea, and there'd be, like, space bacteria.
So the way that they rewrote, well, quote, rewrote Spelljammer for 5th edition, technically speaking, nothing ages or needs like food in the astral plane. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
it
forgot
technically
about
wouldn't
that.
spoil, but I feel like still having food and stuff is more fun.
Agreed.
And also the normal passage of time is fun. So but yeah, so like in our game, things could potentially spoil. I'd say like
Well,
once it enters the ship's air bubble, it could
yeah, that
spoil.
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, Squish is going to hop back out of it and just be like, I'm done!
All right.
And then Squish is going to check out this new solid they found.
All right. And it doesn't take long for a rowboat to be sent out to retrieve all of you. Plus one extra passenger.
Oh, hey, is the Spelljammer helm on this wreck intact?
It is not.
Dang.
You don't see the Spelljammer anywhere.
Yeah, too bad. Because, yeah, for real, what we gotta do is install a tiny Spelljammer helm in Skrag's carapace, and then Ari can just fly him through space.
That is not how that works.
All you
But-
need to do is put a chair on some inorganic matter, and you're done.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
You know
I love
it
the
is.
idea of Ari and Skrag just fighting for control over the beetle suit.
Oh my god. It's some fucking Pacific Rim shit. They have to get synchronized or whatever they said.
Oh, this image I put in VC Mutes is basically me right now.
But anyway, yeah, Squish is going to wave again to the Drakari. They're dead now. You are okay.
Dukagshi, first of all, not Drukari. That is a
Oh.
whole different animal.
Sorry, that was a total Freudian slip, I guess.
Thank goodness I'm not Drukari. But no, Durakka is going to wave back and say, thank you for the assistance.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go piss. Keep
Go piss, girl.
Role playing.
Go piss, girl.
We'll pretend that you guys are back on the ship because it would have taken like a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Skrag would ask, who's your friend there, Squish? Now, mind you, Skrag does not speak out loud. It's all telepathic because he can only speak in insect. So yeah, it was be Squish that. Here's the question.
He must have been from the ship, Skrag. She survived this whole time. She must be tough.
Indeed, I've been surviving on my own for a while now.
What happened here?
Well, our captain saw an elf ship, our sworn enemy, and decided to pick a fight with them. We were all expecting honor and glory in destroying our enemy. We were the ones destroyed instead. But, being the cowards that they are, the elves left me there alone to die slowly, instead of coming in and finishing me off.
And as you speak, what looks like a little halfling pops out from underneath this beetle carapace. She's like, "Well, you're okay now."
Yes, and I have
And
you,
this
my
guy
lord.
here, and she's gonna like slap probably like the shoulder plate. It's gonna cook up that weird fucking fish.
You know, it's like just bobbing his head up and down.
It'll be a fine feast. Good spoils for a good battle.
I'm sorry. Where are our manners? Everybody, introduce yourselves to our new guest. I am Athoz, Starsinger.
I am
Skrag,
Squish.
like, pokes Athos in the side.
He squirms a little. And this is Skrag, our ship's chef.
Don't ask him about his jerky.
Antenna
no.
curl and uncurl.
I think you would like Skrag's jerky. It is elf.
You make jerky out of elves.
Skrag kind of stands in front of her and with a claw pokes at his forehead and pokes at her forehead, like kind of say, like
Here,
Kinda ask permission.
Ari can translate.
yeah.
He can't talk. Do you wanna, like, are you okay with him, like, doing the telepathy thing? And
Pat-
the
pats
way
Ari
that
on
she
the
said
head.
that, yeah, it is entirely on purpose. Like, she is.
Very apprehensively, Durakka removes her helmet, revealing, big, fluffy black hair, green skin, and tusks. And just kind of goes, I suppose that would be fine.
And the moment you say that, you hear, excellent. So, elf jerky is always the best jerky. I would never ever cook anything else. By the way, I'm Skrag.
Nice to meet you.
It is lean meat, but it stays tender when you dry it. It's like magic.
Ari, is there some back there?
And she's going to dip down. You hear like the comical like things getting thrown, maybe a plate breaking somewhere.
We have a new candidate for the soundboard.
God. Just rummaging around.
Sounds
Yeah.
like the back of a busy fucking kitchen on lunch rush.
Yes. And then she pops back out with a little bag. Yeah, there was a little one in here. Looks old though. Did you forget about this?
Maybe. Don't give her that one. We'll get something a little more fresh. Give it a Skrag. Squish.
And she's gonna yeet it at Squish.
Oh boy! And Squish just absorbs it and kind of just patoos the empty bag. And the jerky just breaks down in a few seconds. And Squish just ripples with delight. I think the old stuff is pretty good too, but old food makes solids thick. For me, that just means my food has made more food.
Perhaps we should return to the ship. Make introductions to the captain. He takes that moment of odd pause to say that.
It will never be not interesting to watch him do.
Also, she is injured, so Ari should totally just lay hands.
Does she look outwardly injured? Or
Uh,
is she like hiding it?
She got bit by a shark.
yeah, she got bit.
Alright. So this little halfling just wriggles out of her little hidey hole. And before she was up there. Now she is not. She's very short. She is 3'1". She is so small. She's rubbing her little hands together. And she says, I'm Ari, ship doctor. I don't know how the fuck to make these introductions. And she's going to... Where's my spells?
Yeah, Squish is just gonna form some little airport steps so that she can get up to Durakka's arm.
And she's gonna do one of these numbers. Yeah.
Wow, I'm fully healed.
Be healed.
Thank you, healer.
And then she's gonna go right back down her little airport steps and go right back into the battle bus. Because how dare she... She doesn't go places if she can risk not getting stepped on.
There was a thing in Old Spelljammer, but I don't remember what it was called. It was an elvish thing. One of their grown Spelljammer type things, but it wasn't a Spelljammer. It was like this backpack that gave you these hovering wings.
Huh. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. And I'll see what I can put together. But yeah, the little rowboat from the Astral Reaver arrives as we'll say one of the crewmen, or the sailor that comes with it, is like, all right, everybody get on the board. Captain's gonna want to see her, as he kind of gives a nod towards Durakka.
Yes, I would like to meet the captain of this ship. Give him my thanks in person.
All right, and
You should ask him to tell you a story.
Uh,
She gives a little shit-eating grin.
I will keep that in mind.
All right.
Captain Boswell likes telling stories. He can do it for a very long time.
A very long time.
Oh, and they branch off too.
Interesting.
Yeah, so as you're rowed back to the ship, kind of give you the too long didn't read description of the ship, Ellie. This ship looks like a hammerhead shark.
Ooh.
Yeah. And hold on.
Yeah, and if Astral Reaver is too long a name, you can just call it Ass Reeve for short.
God damn it, Max.
Ooh, that's a cool ship.
Yeah. But as you're rowed back to the ship and everyone is helped aboard, the first thing you see, Durakka, is this tall, large, basically hippopotamus man. This humanoid hippo person. As it looks like there's a few other, about 4 kind of similar species of person, known as the GIF. They are basically big hippo people, standing about 7-8 feet tall, and the one that steps forward to address you is dressed in a kind of a red overcoat and just so many medals pinned to his chest of just resembling many numerous deeds and accomplishments. A very long career indeed, as he kind of extends a large hand that and kind of offers to help you aboard, as he says, "Welcome to the Astral Reaver. I am Captain Boswell."
Durakka kind of clasps his hand in hers firmly and making like strong eye contact, just kind of goes, "I am Durakka of the Dukagshi people. It is a pleasure to meet you."
Dukagshi. Oh, it has been a long time since I've seen one of your people. A very long time. But anyway, welcome aboard my ship. You are welcome to stay as long as you like, whether it be until we reach the next port or until we reach the Rock of Bral. I suspect the Rock of Bral might maybe potentially have a ship that you can catch aboard, or maybe even a Dukagshi captain if your ship has made it out to our neck of the woods.
Captain Boswell,
Yes, Squish.
do you remember the color in the port at Hakatha when we were there?
It was green, right?
Yes,
Yes, green.
just like she is. I think it is the Astral Sea bringing her to us. I do not think she should find another ship. She should stay on this one. It is the will of the tides.
I'm willing to stay with your crew for a while. My my former crew, now deceased, we were out on a great hunt, a sort of rite of passage for my tribe, clan. But I wouldn't mind staying and making myself useful for a crew such as yours for the time being.
And
Do you know what happened to her ship, Captain Boswell? Elves. Elves in a fast ship.
And at the mention of elves, he's gonna kind of give a bit of a long sigh, as for a moment it seems like he's kind of staring off into space for a few seconds, kind of recalling something, as he kind of gives a nod and says, "Ah, elves. I lost my best ship to the elves. Rather than besting me in naval combat, they snuck on board and jettisoned us overboard, took the ship." As he gives kind of a wistful sigh. And then he kind of snaps back to reality as he says, Either way, you are welcome to stay aboard for as long as you like. If there's anything that we can do to make you more comfortable, just let any of the crew know. You are officially a guest aboard the Reaver."
You have my thanks, Captain. Is there a room where I might stay?
Yes, if you don't mind sharing a bunk, I'm sure we have an extra bed or two. If not, we can roll out a sleeping bag for you at the very least. Actually, yes, we should have a few spare beds.
That's good to hear. Durakka is gonna also take off the heavy spacesuit that she's currently wearing to sort of reveal her what kind of looks like, sort of resembles a uniform, but is like tattered and doesn't really have quite the decorum of a like formal uniform. But it's got like a sash and like other kind of identifying marks that kind of tie her to her former crew.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, somewhat traditional Dukagshi sort of spacefaring uniform wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so that everybody has a visual reference, it's kind of like how on the Astral Reaver we've been using Star Trek colors. Durakka's outfit looks like the Klingon uniforms from the Next
Dope.
Generation.
Dope.
I expected that. That's neat.
I mentioned it a bit more barbarian up.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, for the most part, yeah, it is
A
very
little
much.
D&D twist.
Yeah. But yeah, that's more or less what I was getting at with my description.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And on top of that, she's carrying a very large steel like paddle on her back.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Now comes the cooking of the food.
Yes, a victory feast.
Key to the Monster Hunter kitchen.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I imagine cooking on board the ship uses copious amounts of the spell Heat Metal enchanted into some of the pieces of equipment.
Oh, totally.
Like a few, like, just constantly hot plates,
Oh yeah.
a little bit of sizzle.
Wait, what am I saying? They don't need any of that. They got a fucking gas range whenever they want it because flares aboard.
Oh, yeah. Flare, yes. The Fire Ganassi.
Just stick your head right under there.
I don't imagine it. They
No, I'm
quite
just
work
messing.
like that, but
Well, I was referring to the fact that they almost always have the cantrip create flame.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, they can kind of shape the fire too as well, if I remember right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, never mind then. There is one fire aboard, and it is flare. But yeah, so
Yep, Squish is crushing up the horseradish into wasabi.
yeah, as introductions are shared, Durakka, you're more or less left to your own devices to kind of settle in, as you find like pretty quickly like one of the members of the crew, which is like this tiny little mechanical gnome. If you go to your bunk right away, you see this little mechanical auto gnome kind of making the bed for you already and setting out like a clean set of clothes as it says, "Hi, I'm Nilly. I help
Was
around
that-
the ship."
Did you say Dilly?
Nilly.
Nilly. Greetings, my little mechanical friend. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I'm usually in the kitchen, but it's crowded right now, so I thought I'd help you get settled in.
Well, how thoughtful of you. I appreciate it. Durakka's gonna set down her massive, heavy, sheathed sword with a loud.
Just a loud kerthunk.
It is very heavy.
As the small auto gnome says, "All right, I'll leave you to it now. I'll give you some space so you can settle in. Welcome aboard."
Thank you.
And it kind of clatters away.
I love Nilly. Nilly's cool.
All right, I am drawing a complete blank at the moment, but what would everyone like to do on board?
Squish is gonna check on Nelky.
Okay. So yeah, Nelky is awake.
Squish surges into her and scoops her up into its biomass, as one might cradle a child. Nelky, you're awake. I am so glad.
And Nelky, this Goliath that you're scooping up into your biomass, she's awake, but she seems really tired and a little bit groggy as you scoop her up, and as she says, "Oh, Squish, I am so glad to see you. Stardust, I am so glad to see you. It gladdens my heart to know that you're in one piece."
Did you see the thing that I put around you? Squish sets her back into her medical bed,
Yes,
referring to the
the necklace.
yeah. It was made from starbound steel, or no, not steel. What was it? No, some kind of star metal.
Yeah, it's it was, I think it was made from like a meteorite. So like star steel, I think would be a good name for it. As she gives a nod and she says and she'll even kind of hold it up to look at it again as she says, "Oh, it's lovely, Stardust. Thank you."
I thought it would make you feel better to have it. I am sorry all those bad things happened to you. We punished them, though.
And she'll kind of shake her head a little bit, and she says, "Oh, Stardust, you don't need to be sorry for anything that happens. Or, you don't need to be sorry for anything that happened. It was not something that was in your control. It's was simply another obstacle along our path to the next journey."
And we are on a next journey. We are going to the Rock of Bral. Is that not exciting?
Oh, that is exciting. I've been missing Brawl.
I have too. I do not remember how long it has been. Oh, and we found someone new along the way. 2 someones. You have not met Ari yet.
No, I haven't.
Are you well enough to walk, or do you need more rest?
I think I need some more bed rest, but if I'm feeling better in a few hours, I'll see if my body wills me to walk.
Squish will recount what has transpired,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 new faces aboard the crew, with particular emphasis on Ari because he is just hilarious. And then Squish will promise to bring her some of Skrag's cooking and return to the kitchen.
Okay. And then Nelky, this like Goliath, has always been really calm, always patient, and always listening when Squish describes or explains things. And like she looks really happy that there are 2 new people on board of the ship.
Celestians are chill, man. If I were to have a religion, it'd probably be Celestian.
As for Skrag, I'm pretty sure they have a system on how to take care of these bigger creatures that they happen to reel in. So he would be out there carving away, with his galley crew, and getting the meat put back on board, put down in the galley. He would also grab as much teeth and bones he can, because the teeth would probably be good for, I don't know, knives or weaponry or whatnot.
Yeah, probably.
Anything else, probably everything else that they won't use. He tries to recycle everything, but what they don't probably just release back out into the quote unquote sea. The actual sea.
My ass, they will.
Or given the Squish,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
in
he'll,
amidst
he'll
all the
get back.
cleaning, Squish would make sure that Athoz would be able to get the samples.
Oh yeah,
Because Athoz wanted some samples.
yeah. He would take the eyes and all that stuff too, because that could be a delicacy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And since we're
Yeah.
eating all of it, we can make shark fin soup without feeling guilty.
Yes, yes. But yeah, most of his time will probably be covering that up, because I'm pretty sure it'll take a while,
Oh yeah.
and he is going to be filthy.
Okay. So I'm gonna say you don't even have to roll for it because the DC is so low, and I imagine Skrag has been doing this kind of thing for a long time.
Mm,
You get a pouch of night scaver teeth.
nice. Yeah, I'm
From a
pretty
huge
sure.
one, I'm saying like 10 pouches.
With his situation, I'm pretty sure he would make it a point to just make sure he just cooks the shit out of these things.
Mm-hmm.
A little vendetta he might have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hate you so much. I'm gonna eat you.
I mean, makes sense to me. Is anyone else getting kind of a Quint from Jaws vibe right now?
You know, I barely remember Jaws.
Oh, we should
I hope
watch it.
you watch it. Yeah.
A bunch of my family's in it.
Cool.
Oh really?
Yeah, they filmed it here.
Oh. Oh cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the lady who slaps Chief Brody in the face, her name was Lee Fierro, and I actually worked with her in theater for a few years, and she once played the role of my great-great-great-great-grandmother in a play that was done by a book written by my great-grandmother about our ancestors.
Neat.
Funny old world.
But yeah, so yeah, Scrag, you work on dressing and cleaning out the night scaver and stocking up on fish meat, and you get a nifty pouch of teeth, incredibly sharp, and the best looking ones could probably be sold at the next port to for use of like jewelry and decoration.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wish is going to see what's in its stomach.
Okay.
Hell, that's what I was wondering. Maybe it ate something else.
Yeah, let's see if it ate something cool.
Okay.
Squish finds a license plate.
Give me just a second. That is okay. Cool. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Let's see. Let's see what comes up. Okay. So I'm gonna say, in its stomach, you find a number of different bones. Most of them have been kind of mostly digested into sort of like a kind of a jelly like soup. But you're able to you find like the bodies of two or three Dukagshi and some partially digested equipment, and then there just so happens to be about 48 gold coins total in a kind of like a coin purse.
Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, Squish emerges with a wallet. I found gold, Skrag.
Squish is just like, look, a MasterCard.
What's in
Yeah, he
your
would ask
wallet?
Give it
Yeah.
here. We'll save it for later.
Okay. And Squish hands it right off without reservation.
All right. If there isn't anything that anyone wants to do, I think that's a good place to stop for now.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Same
Sounds
time next week?
Yes, maybe.
Hold up. Next week. Yes, next week I will be around. It's the 4th I won't be here.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice to have you, Ellie.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good game, guys.
Yeah.
Lady Space Orc.
We must.
That's good because we needed some clobbering.